Everybody, here's a tour of my gaming area as of 2:17 a.m. March 10, 2022. I'm gonna get some more stuff. But here's my HP Omen PC. It has a fourth generation Ryzen 7 6 core 12 thread, and there's my two screens for it. Stream on Twitch. That's where I monitor Twitch. Over there is just a regular back there is just a regular Acer I grabbed off of a Finger Hut because I had to get something just to do my stuff. See, I have a little mini fridge to keep Mountain Dew, some stuff in. Tiny coffee pot. My old one gave out. Now, I didn't know if they were going to give me the credit, but that, for one on one side I go to, but I got this one. I'm going to put the other one maybe for backup in case this one gives out. But yeah, this is a little tour of my area and just kind of smoking for you, and then what you like watching me just do stuff like this. Yeah, I got these simple little cell phones, smartphones I use for um, like doing YouTube and simple stuff like that. I got another one on the way, and I just like collecting things, electronics, and there's a laptop I use as a GTA Online. And I think they criticize video just talking about the stuff going on GTA. I'm like, yep. And there's my music laptop. It's Bluetooth into a stereo system. Has various speakers around the room. Some extra monitors I can stock up on essentials in case there's ever a toilet paper shortage or with a wheat shortage. Come and see I'm stocking on flour, sugar, just essentials. Powder milk stuff that we'd have the main shortage on there when all these so-called survivalists are calling for food shortages. Them shut down the power grid. They were saying that in the '90s when if I have a lot of young people. Like a lot of the so-called conspiracy theory people were saying, "Oh, Bill Clinton's gonna do this and that. The power grid never happened. They're not worried about the year 2000." Everyone's so concerned about these so-called societies and stuff. Don't they realize they know even the people in power, if they were that way, psychopaths, don't they realize they shut down the power? You call for 98% of the world's population. I just don't think they're that. If they did exist, say there for some reason they did exist, they're not that crazy. I mean, they're just not. I mean, they're just like. I just don't think there's anyone that wouldn't make sense. Because if you have all these nuclear power plants would go, they wouldn't have an Earth to turn to. Trust me. So it don't make sense. They're just saying this to scare people. Just make excuse. That's just my excuse. But I keep up, for price right hikes or something. And after the last shortage, I just keep up on essentials and stuff. Stuff I can trade. Like, I keep up on tobacco. Like, we already run problems. I keep stuff I could trade and stuff. I trade goods. Like if we have shortages, I could trade it for, like, I don't know, whatever I need. I don't cook that much, but some stuff I don't do any home baking, but I use it mostly to help the ladies out around my apartment complex that still bake. I'll say, hey, you bake me a loaf of bread, I'll give you some flour in return, bake you a loaf of bread. Just like a little thing, just like a little favor. Just like something, just help my neighbors out. If I'll give you a little powder milk and this and that. If, it's for trade and help out. There's a lot of vulnerable people out here. And I've been, blessed with a little bit of a, what do you call it, life insurance plan. I don't have less than 5 grand left that by now, but still, I mean, I've been blessed, compared to most people out here last year, and I've, got my mostly just spent most like a good 15 grand of it pre-planning my funeral. Doesn't get the burial plot or stone, but I got like the bottom the cheapest steel coffin that won't leak, and if that seals up and airtight, and if the cheapest solid unleakable sealed vault, just make sure. You know, I just believe in dignity when burying someone. I just believe in dignity. It's with the body. I don't know, it's just me, I guess, just how I am about things. Like my cats, or whatever animal pets when they died on the farm as a kid, I believed in burying them with dignity. Like, I just believe bodies should be treated with dignity when it's buried. And, I just believe in that. And that's the store in my room. And some opinions of mine. I got my snacks over there. And it's just a little tour and stuff. And I'm adding some stuff to this. And I got a little mini air conditioner, see? Just like a little thing uses water to cool. And I always keep a thing. I'm not religious, I'm right Christian per se. I got this. It looks like a good piece of art, and I keep this as a piece of art. Because I think my grandma was the first. My grandma loved her so much. My dad's mom. She was so much a caring person, and she talked about Mary a lot. And I guess I'm not. I don't believe in the Catholic religion. I guess I had that whole brief moment, but I guess the main reason is that it's a beautiful piece of art. Whoever sculpted that did such a good job. Even though I'm not religious, it's part of whether we like it or not, whether you're not religious or not, you got knowledge. It's a part of our history. It's part of history, especially if you're from the West, like Europe and European history or whatever. It's part of all of our history. Really, it's part of. It's not really per se the truth. It's part of history. It's how civilization answered questions they couldn't find scientific process for and stuff, and so and you know, it's a big question of how people answer questions about the cosmos and stuff before they could. And a beautiful art came out. You gotta admit to that. But that's why I keep that stuff around. And there's people giving me gifts, and I take them with great pride. It's a big event. For my family. It's about making my grandpa proud, and they don't come to events, and that's been some big. I guess the main thing was make my grandpa proud because he's the patriarch of the family. We have an old fashioned food, like really. We have like a real what do you call it? We're just a very well known family, and my mom's side in this town, and I just gotta live up to a certain image I'm here. Like there's just things you can't do when you're in our family, and that's why I don't indulge like I used to. I just had to go down south and indulge. When I wanted to indulge, I'm gonna see what game to install here. But when I want to indulge in life, I had to know to do it in an area where my family would not be shamed. Because it's just like something it's just common sense. To have respect for your family and stuff, and not be offensive, not do things let them down. That's just part of my beliefs. When you have a family that um you take a lot of looking for another game to play. Yeah, Dreadnought sounds like fun. Let's see, community. I'll check out the community hub. That really tells us someone's playing it. Doesn't for all these games install. Looks like there is one. Was this taken? Yeah, look at the time that's taken too. Looks like a fun game. Alright. I'll install it. I just keep things limited. At limited speed. And this is how I am at night. I just do simple things. I'm getting back into gaming. And Alexa, turn off a Komori room lamp.
Okay.
And I just do things. I just thought, well, I'll get back into gaming. I wasn't getting design. I'm like, wow, coding and whatever. But there's probably gonna be a lot of competitive stuff in the metaverse we gotta get ready for. I mean, competitive gaming's taking off too, but and someone's got, I gotta remind myself that, um, you know, um, and that'd be neat. Someone coming up to the top that's nearly 40 years old, and and takes the helm to some of your teenagers and 20-year-olds. But you get a guy like me, it's kind of crazy looking. That I don't know. I guess games interested me when I was younger, but they weren't as amazing as they were. Like I saw on TikTok a little bit. I started gaming in the late 2000s, and like the early online games I remember were like that I played were browser games, like games you played in your Internet Explorer browser or whatever. I mean, they had some, like Duke Nukem, the original Duke Nukem 3D, I think. You can have your modem dial 1-800 number to connect. Those are the old ones, but nothing much really. I think you could like dial 800 number, like have you switch your modem to dial your dial-up modem dial 800 number, and that was somewhat online competitive. But like everyone said, no one talks about Doom, the original Doom. It came out for Windows. Was it DOS? You could do what's called a local network or play your friend if you have their IP address. And no one talks about that. There was one thing with like I think it was Doom, the original Doom. It may be the original Wolfenstein 3D if you had your persons, or you play multiplayer if you can tap into the network or something. You do it back in the old days. You kept a network going. Is way you could do a network in your house. And like there was a way you can like use one dial-up modem for multiple computers. Someone gave me one time. But I couldn't figure out like if you had 2 or 3 computers, you could dial. Of course, you only use one at a time, but they were as like a 33.6K per some modem, and you do have 2 computers. You can dial one in at a time, and it's like the one to keep it your off. It's hard to explain the old technology. But someone gave me a bunch of old technology, got mentored me on computers, and got I was interested. It's a funny story because I was like wanting to write a story was like observing the time of the death and stuff. Pope John Paul is a non-Catholic and really just your average Protestant. And I was gonna write a book. I didn't have a computer, and this guy gave me one of those Q1 processor. Make a long story short, it turned into a fascination with computers. He took me under his wing. He had some extremist ideas, and we both realized those ideas were wrong. But in the end, I learned a lot. But these were back when this like last I talked to him was like over 10 years, over a decade ago. But it's just amazing time learning. And I got like a wired moments before your internet service provider, even your cable provider, give you a router modem. I bought a wired router. It was right before Wi-Fi took off, and yeah, I remember the tablet phones, like the old portable Windows phone they called whatever Windows port, like I forget what it was called, but it came out XP for your portable computers, whatever, and pocket computers. And it's called XP Edition. And boy, look it up on Google it. Look up like your pocket computers, like the early 2000s. Things have come a lot along. I remember I was in a sub place. I think it's Quizmos, and I was trying to apply for a job, but they were trying to pretty much say they don't hire people who work, quote unquote, of an alternate lifestyle. And the way they said it back then is, oh, this is a family. This is a family place, which means they could tell and it's tonight. And like back in 2004, I applied for an apartment, and I ended up denying it because it was like a bad neighborhood. I decided I didn't want it. It was a bad neighborhood. And at the time, I wanted to stay in the other town I was in because I had friends there. But they they could actually still on asking an application, are you a homosexual? And if you checked yes, it said down below, if you checked yes, you're being a homosexual. We do not rent to homosexuals. It actually said down some apartment complex that were HUD. I mean, it's a much different world than just talking about the world I lived in my early adulthood. I mean, it's a much different world, and you young people are so lucky to become of age and adulthood and world where so much has changed in the West. And some of you are watching this in the East, and that may have different opinions, but still, your countries have come a long way. You know, according to if you're like in a Saudi Arabian type country, where I have friends all over my watches, and even Saudi Arabia is like let up on all their old fashioned stuff, and I guess the king got together and said, okay, I can do this and that, or got the religious leaders, and they're not as strict as they used to be. Mainly because there's a lot of business travelers, and people are saying, hey, we want freedom, but say what you will about that king over there, you know, but he did say, okay, I'll see what I could do, and like when people's been heavily, and when people's had real bad health problems, or right, or extremely morbidly obese, or something like that, that king stepped in and says, okay, I'm going to pay for all your medical care and you're going to follow along. But there's this guy's like 1,400 pounds in Saudi Arabia. He paid for the apartment wall to be taken out and then the apartment to be repaired, and he was taken out by ambulance trip. All the medical bills were paid by the king. And you think, why do people get punished so severely for stealing in those countries? Well, there is no poor people in Saudi Arabia. You have, I mean, it's such an oil-rich country. Even your people who are disabled are like mentally disabled and stuff. They still have their problems because they can get accused of witchcraft or whatever. It never really happens anymore, but I kind of think the media could allow a portion. I'm not sure. I've never been over there, so I'm not going to make an opinion. But they're well taken care of. I mean, like, even your people on welfare can still travel to Europe and stuff because it's such a rich nation that these oils, they take care of their people. And people have seen, if look up YouTube, like people, Westerners that travel to Saudi Arabia, they're well treated, well received. We get a bad image because of what happened, you know, with 9/11 and Al Qaeda and stuff of Arab countries. But yeah, some are dangerous to travel to, but a lot of them, like I would feel safer traveling to Saudi Arabia, like Riyadh or Dubai, and I would like a lot of European cities rather than travel overseas. We know about the crime rate in London. We know about the crime rate in Paris and our countries. And we know what's going on in Eastern Europe. I would feel much safer going somewhere like Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where the crime rate in a city, it's a city of 8 million, and like the crime rate's near zero at 3 a.m. And Dubai is so beautiful. I always want to visit Dubai. And if I had money, all money, I'd visit Dubai. I go to a lot of these places. But since I'm not Muslim, or what we call kofir, I would want somebody to send me a Quran, maybe signed and by one of the most respected people there, because I have respect for people, and maybe get something from the. I couldn't enter the whale all, but one of those books. Like they're getting rid of one of those books. Buy one, we'll get one of those. Have one of the rabbis, Israel sign. I respect everyone like Hinduism. I want something all around the world. It's just like a little bit of each culture, you know. I guess that's just me. I like things around the world. Like here tonight, I was trying to call grocery stores in London and see if I gave them a transaction of cash to sterling, they would, you know, get some famous snacks people like over in Britain. You know, they can't get in the United States and do videos reviewing them. And they thought I was a prank call or something. They kept on hanging up on me. I guess since I never returned number, because the only way you call over there on mine is Skype phone, and a lot of them were just, I don't know, suspicious. But I said, hey, this is not a troll prank. I'm just really trying to call. Sainsbury's hung up on me, and you know, there's a lot of places. I was just trying to call and say, hey, I'm serious. I'll give you all my information. It's not a prank call. I would give you guys the money. Just pay some, you know, your young workers, teenage workers, £5 of that money to pick out snacks that are famous over there. And I wanted to review myself. I'm a reviewer from YouTube or from the United States. I just wanted to review some snacks around the world, food from around the world that you can't get in this country. And it's just hard. Maybe there's so much easy prank calls or something. But I want to do that because I just want to share what people eat and show my family, let my family try it, and just be like cultures. But that's just another thing I'm going to do. Well, I'm just doing basic chat and chill, and I'll chat you guys later. And I just do so much that I want to make. I do so much that I do to get the world happy and try to be a happy person. You know. All right. I'll talk to you later. All right. Peace. And for my Muslim friends, peace be on you and all that. God bless my Christian friends. Anyone out there is Jewish, shalom or whatever greeting you have in your faith or non-faith. I guess if you're kind of secular like me, who is just open-minded. I guess peace. That respect for everyone, but yeah. Bye. And good night. Hey, good morning, guys. It's 2:38 a.m.